A journey of love, of pain, of betrayal, of a truth so extraordinary, it will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about strength and desire. Tonight, we start where few stories dare to begin. On a night that should have been ordinary, yet became unforgettable. On a wedding night, a woman thought she had married a man confined to a wheelchair, and yet, what she would experience that night would shatter every expectation she ever had about him and about herself. Before I tell you the full story, I need you to do one thing. Hit that subscribe button. Stay until the very last second, because what you're about to hear is not just a story. It's a journey. The sheets were warm, the city of Lagos outside shimmering with the glow of distant lights. She had never felt more alive, more beautiful than in that moment. Draped in silk and lace, her body trembling with anticipation, she had imagined the night would be gentle, perhaps even awkward. After all, she had spent years caring for him, helping him, loving him, all while the world whispered doubts about what a crippled man could offer. And then it happened. In the privacy of their room, a transformation unfolded before her eyes. The man she had known as fragile, as limited, as someone who could never truly satisfy her, rose from his chair. His body, once confined, now strong, lean, and precise, moved with a power that left her breathless. Every touch, every caress, every kiss was deliberate, masterful, consuming. He gave her the kind of intimacy she had only dreamed of, a fire, a passion, a connection so deep it seemed impossible to contain. Her heart pounded. Her mind reeled. This was not the man she thought she knew. This was a man who had been hiding a storm all along, a storm that had been building silently for years. But before this night, before this revelation, there was a story. A story of Lagos streets, of luxury, of whispered doubts, and of the extraordinary bond between a crippled young man and the woman who refused to see him as weak. He was young, confined to a wheelchair after an accident that many believed had stolen not just his mobility, but his virility, his strength, his future. His family, his friends, even strangers, all thought him powerless. Opportunists circled like vultures, ready to take advantage, to humiliate, to belittle. Yet, she saw him differently. She was strikingly beautiful. Her presence turned heads wherever she went. Every man in Lagos seemed to desire her, yet she never faltered. She saw him, not the chair, not the whispers, not the doubts, only him. The quiet, intelligent, vulnerable soul behind the veil of limitation. She fed him. She cared for him. She nurtured him in ways no one else dared. And in doing so, she awakened something in him that would change both their lives forever. At first, it was simple. She assisted him with daily routines. She organized his life meticulously, attending to every need. Friends joked, strangers stared, and men attempted to flirt, to tempt, to seduce her with wealth and power. But she remained steadfast, unwavering in her devotion. He, meanwhile, began to change. Privately, he began physiotherapy, sessions that no one knew about. Hours in the gym, unseen, pushing himself beyond the limitations everyone else had imposed. And every evening, every small triumph, he shared quietly with her, thanking her with glances, with subtle touches, with the kind of intimacy that transcends words. So, he began to stand. Slowly, he began to walk. And with every step, his confidence grew, not just in his body, but in the love he felt, and the desire he knew he could finally share. And then one day he asked her to marry him. Her heart leapt, but the world did not cheer. Her family resisted. They whispered cruel things. He's crippled, he cannot satisfy you, he cannot protect you, he cannot give you children. Yet she stood firm. She had seen him differently for years, and she knew the truth. Strength is not always visible. Desire is not always predictable. Love is often underestimated. Through their engagement, she tried. She had tried in private to ignite the passion between them. Yet he resisted. It was not inability, it was patience, discipline, a promise he intended to keep until the right moment. Friends whispered to her, suggesting he was impotent. Others tried to woo her with wealth, with charm. Yet she remained loyal. And little did she know, the greatest revelation was yet to come. So tonight, as she lay in his arms, feeling his hands explore her with a mastery she had never imagined, she realized the truth. The man she had loved all these years, the man the world had underestimated, was not only capable, he was extraordinary. This was a love story the city of Lagos had never witnessed. A story of patience, of desire, of transformation. And it had only just begun. Stay with me, because the next chapter will reveal the sacrifices, the betrayals, and the secrets that made this night inevitable. Before we continue, if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the moment. Hit that button, because this story is not ordinary. Every second reveals the unseen struggles, the hidden passions, and the moments of truth that will make your heart race. Stay with me until the very end, because what you think you know about love, desire, and strength will be turned upside down. Before the wedding, before the night that would change everything, he fought a silent battle. The world had always seen him as weak, confined to a wheelchair, fragile, incapable. Friends spoke over him, colleagues dismissed him, strangers pitied him. Yet no one knew the truth. Behind closed doors, he pushed himself relentlessly. Early mornings in a private physiotherapy room, where no one could see him sweat, strain, struggle. Hours at the gym, every muscle aching, every tendon screaming, as he forced his body to obey him once again. Every session was a rebellion against expectation, a whisper to the universe. I am more than you think. And she was there, boys, observing quietly, never questioning, never complaining. She brought water, she adjusted his posture, she offered encouragement when no one else believed in him. Her hands on his back, her eyes steady and unwavering, became a lifeline, a motivation he had never known. Every smile she gave him, every gentle touch, was fuel. And little by little, he began to reclaim himself. She was beautiful in ways that stopped people mid-step. Her hair, her skin, her posture, the way her eyes glimmered with both compassion and fire. Men in Lagos could not resist her. They whispered, they flirted, they tried to pull her attention away with wealth, with promises, with desire. But she remained loyal, devoted. Every glance, every subtle touch she gave, he cherished. And yet, even with her unwavering presence, the world questioned him. They whispered to her, "He cannot handle you. He is incapable." And she, too, struggled with doubt. She had wanted intimacy, closeness, desire. Yet he resisted. Not because he could not, but because he had a plan, a vision that extended beyond what anyone could see. He wanted her completely, in every sense, when the time was right. And the right time was not now. Her family, a formidable force of opinion and authority, had other ideas. They could not see past the wheelchair. They could not comprehend love beyond what they considered practicality. They warned her, "You are throwing away your future. He cannot satisfy you. He cannot protect you. You deserve better." But she knew him differently. She had seen his determination, his strength, his intelligence. She had felt his heart, his patience, his subtle acts of devotion that no one else noticed. And she refused to abandon him. Even as they criticized her, even as they tried to sway her, she continued her work, her love, her care. And in doing so, she gave him the courage to rise, not just figuratively, but literally. To stand. To fight. To become the man he was destined to be, one that the world would never see coming. There were moments when she would find him alone in the gym, drenched in sweat, trembling with effort. And in those moments, he was no longer the man confined to a chair. He was powerful, resilient, unstoppable. Every step he took, every pull of a weight, every strained movement of a muscle, it was a victory, a silent revolution that no one witnessed. And still, he did not rush her. He did not demand intimacy. He wanted it to be perfect, a culmination of trust, devotion, and timing. Every night she tried. Every night he resisted. And every night she questioned herself. Until she realized it was never about inability. It was about control, about precision, about waiting for the moment when they would both be ready, when their union would surpass everything they had imagined. And then, in the quiet of a Lagos evening, he asked her to marry him. It was not a grand gesture of wealth or extravagance. It was a silent promise, a testament to years of patience and love. Her family's protests were loud. They said it was a mistake. They said she would regret it. They whispered cruel, calculated doubts. You will not be satisfied. He cannot give you what you deserve. But she had seen the man he was becoming. And she said yes. She said yes because she had witnessed the fire inside him, the strength that no one else could see, the patience, the discipline, the love that had always been hers. And as they prepared for the wedding, as the city of Lagos hummed around them, she could not know the moment she had waited for was just days away. Little did she know, the man she had loved, the man everyone else had dismissed, had a secret of power, of passion, of raw desire that had been hidden for years. And on the night they would finally become one, that secret would be revealed. The wedding night, a culmination of patience and devotion, would shatter every assumption she had. Every whispered doubt, every sneer, every man who had tried to tempt her, would be meaningless in the face of what was to come. And when he finally rose from the wheelchair, when he finally claimed her in ways she could not imagine, she would understand the truth, that strength is not always visible, desire is not always predictable, and love can be unstoppable. This is Lagos, a city of lights, of whispers, of hidden stories. And in one apartment, one love, one couple, a truth is about to be revealed that no one expected. The tension, the anticipation, and the night that changes everything. You will see how patience, love, and devotion can turn the impossible into the extraordinary. I need you to do one thing. Subscribe and stay until the very end. Every second of this story matters. Every glance, every touch, every secret. Because what you are about to witness will change everything you thought you knew about desire, strength, and love. Tonight, we enter the moment that everyone had anticipated, the day the world thought she would marry a crippled man. But the truth was far more extraordinary. The city of Lagos shimmered under the morning sun. The streets were alive with movement, the distant sounds of traffic mixing with laughter and celebration. In a grand villa overlooking the lagoon, preparations were underway for a wedding that would attract whispers across the city, a wedding that everyone had doubted. She walked through her room, her reflection in the mirror flawless. Every hair in place, every detail perfected. Her beauty was undeniable, striking, radiant, magnetic. And as she prepared, she felt a flutter in her chest, a mix of anticipation, fear, and excitement. She had loved him for years, she had cared for him, she had devoted herself, and today, she would see everything come to fruition. Outside, guests began to arrive. Her family, still skeptical, could not hide their tension. Friends whispered, strangers stared, and men who had once sought her attention now watched in disbelief. Yet she remained poised, serene, untouched by the judgment of others. She had eyes for only one man, the one who had transformed quietly, unseen, into someone extraordinary. He waited in a separate room, hands folded, a quiet intensity in his gaze. The wheelchair that had once defined him sat unused in the corner. Private sessions, late-night physiotherapy, months of discipline, all had led to this moment. He did not rush. He did not boast. Every movement, every adjustment of his suit, every deep breath, was calculated. Every inch of him had been trained, honed, prepared to meet this moment. Not just for the ceremony, but for the night that would follow. And when he saw her approaching the aisle, walking with the grace and beauty that had captivated him years ago, he felt a quiet surge of power. The man who had been underestimated by everyone now stood ready to claim his destiny. The ceremony was exquisite. Flowers adorned the hall, soft light streaming through tall windows, the distant hum of Lagos life outside a reminder of the world that doubted them. Guests watched with curiosity, envy, some with disbelief. How could a man confined for so long command a woman so radiant, so desired? She walked toward him, every step deliberate, her eyes locked on his. He stood, calm, confident, radiating a strength no one else could perceive. No words were needed. In that quiet exchange, in that shared glance, they spoke volumes of devotion, of patience, of love that had weathered every doubt and insult thrown their way. The vows were simple, yet profound. Promises made without fanfare, yet heavy with meaning. And as they exchanged rings, the room seemed to hold its breath. This was more than a wedding. It was a testament to resilience, to unseen strength, to a love that refused to be measured by limitations. As the reception concluded, as the city of Lagos glittered outside in the night, they retreated to their private suite. The anticipation was electric. She had imagined this night countless times, yet she could not have anticipated what was coming. He approached her slowly, hands steady, eyes dark with intent. Every touch was deliberate, every movement calculated. He did not rush. He let her feel the weight of his presence, the power that had been hidden for so long. Every subtle brush of fingers along her arm, every kiss on her shoulder, sent shivers through her body. She had longed for him, tried to awaken desire, wondered if the rumors were true, if he could satisfy her, if he could meet her needs. And now, in this room, with only moonlight and silence as witnesses, the truth was about to be revealed. The sheets awaited, soft silk, warm and inviting. Her heart pounded in her chest, a rhythm matched only by the quiet confidence in his eyes. She had spent years caring for him, loving him, doubting him, trying to awaken a desire that he had never revealed. And now, she understood that patience had its rewards. That every moment of restraint, every whisper of doubt, every attempt to challenge him, had been leading to this night. When he finally moved, when he finally claimed her, she would experience a passion unlike any she had imagined. Every touch, every movement, every kiss, would erase every doubt, every insult, every man who had ever tried to tempt her away. And in that moment, the crippled man the world had underestimated would become a force of nature she could not resist. The city of Lagos slept, unaware of the extraordinary events unfolding in a single suite high above its streets. A woman, radiant and beautiful, poised at the edge of revelation. A man, once underestimated, finally ready to show his true power. Tomorrow the world would see only the wedding photos, the smiles, the celebration. But tonight would belong to them alone. The night that would shatter assumptions, the night that would define passion, desire, and love in ways no one else could understand. The secrets of the wheelchair, and the night that transformed them both forever. The room was dim, lit only by the soft glow of city lights filtering through the curtains. Silk sheets glimmered against her skin. She lay there, radiant and trembling, anticipation coursing through her body. He approached quietly. No wheelchair. No limitation. The man who had been underestimated for years now stood before her, strong, capable, and deliberate in every movement. His eyes held a storm she had never imagined. Every touch, every caress, every kiss was precise, calculated, yet intoxicatingly natural. He explored her body as if memorizing it, as if every curve, every shiver, every sigh had been stored in memory for years. She had never felt desire like this, a passion that consumed her completely, a fire that erased every doubt and every whisper of judgment she had heard from the world. This was not mere physical connection. This was the culmination of years of patience, of devotion, of mutual understanding. She had cared for him, nurtured him, loved him in ways no one else had dared. And now, he returned that care tenfold, in the most primal, breathtaking way imaginable. Every motion, every embrace, every whisper of skin against skin carried a depth she had never known. Her heart raced, her mind reeled, and her soul felt seen, desired, cherished. The world outside, the judgment, the whispers, the doubt, ceased to exist. There was only them, the fire between them, and a revelation years in the making. She had thought she knew him. She had thought his limitations defined him. She had thought the whispers were true, that he could never fulfill her, that he was incapable, that he was weak. But in that moment, every assumption shattered. The man she had loved, nurtured, and waited for was extraordinary. The patience he had shown, the restraint, the hidden strength, all of it culminated in a passion so raw, so consuming, that it left her trembling, breathless, and utterly transformed. The city of Lagos outside could not touch the intensity of that room. The man who had been underestimated became a force she could not resist, a presence so powerful it consumed her completely. And she, radiant, beautiful, and alive, surrendered willingly, experiencing a passion she would never forget. As dawn approached, the sheets tangled around them, the quiet hum of the city outside a gentle reminder of life continuing beyond their room. She lay in his arms, trembling, overwhelmed, and yet filled with a sense of awe. This was more than desire. It was the culmination of trust, patience, and devotion. It was the reward for years of care, of loyalty, of love that had refused to waver in the face of doubt. She had married a man the world had underestimated, and in doing so, she had discovered the extraordinary. He too was transformed. The silent struggle, the private triumphs, the years of unseen effort, all of it had led to this night. And in the quiet aftermath, they understood, strength is not always visible. Desire is not always predictable. Love is unstoppable when it is nurtured, protected, and respected. Outside, Lagos carried on. The city did not know the story that had unfolded behind closed doors. Friends still whispered, strangers still doubted. But within that room, a truth had been revealed that no one could ever take away. She had married a man everyone underestimated. And in return, he had given her an experience, a love, a revelation, that surpassed every expectation. Every doubt she had ever held was gone. Every whisper of societal judgment faded. And in its place was trust, passion, and a bond forged in years of patience, devotion, and unseen struggle. This is Lagos, a city of lights, of whispers, of hidden lives. And in one apartment, one love, one extraordinary night, a story unfolded that no one else could have predicted. She had thought she married a crippled man, until the wedding night revealed his beastly side. But more than that, she discovered the truth about love, that it is patient, it is devoted, and it is often stronger than the doubts and whispers of the world. And if there is one lesson to take away from this story, it is this: never underestimate the strength that lies beneath a quiet exterior, the power hidden in patience, and the fire that true love can ignite. Stay with love, stay with patience, and perhaps you too will witness the extraordinary unfold in your life.